What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to talk about the Pro-Tech Malibu. This is a reverse Tanto button lock flipper, so very fidgety. We'll get that out of the way. Well, we'll come back to that, of course, if you know me. I weighed this knife in at 3.1 ounces. It's made of CPM 20 CV super steel, and so it's a super steely knife. This particular model is from GPKnives, and it has a nice acid wash blade, so really like that. And that's one of the things we'll talk about a little bit. This knife sells for $200, which I think is very fairly priced, given the tolerances on it and everything that this brings to the table. So let's jump right into some comparison knives. First one I want to talk about is the Pro-Tech produced but Ferrum-Forged design Mordax. This is the one that, in the absence of being able to get a Malibu for about 6 months, I went ahead and bought that one. A lot of things translate. I won't say they're copied or whatever, but it does translate. And so this one actually, I would say, was a really good precursor, just a much bigger knife. And we'll come back to that one. Some other alternatives, the Pro-Tech, or Pro-Tech, this is the Pro-Tech. No, this is the Hogue X03. This is a button lock type, or sorry, a flipper, thumb stud button lock, not thumb stud flipper, of course. And then, of course, I have to talk about the Orion Knives Solaris. This one actually has both thumb studs as well as a flipper capability. So we'll go ahead and continue on now. Let's talk about the pros of this knife. The flipping action and detent are just amazing. You know, you can flip it just by holding the button, and you can. This thing's just off the charts. The action and detent, fantastic. You can push button this one. You can lightning switch it. In fact, this one is very hard to fail. I have tried, and this knife, you just, in many positions, I'll do it in full vertical. You can try it. You can try to fail this one. This detent is perfect. This is literally the best one I found out there. The aluminum frame is very beautifully anodized. Pro-Tech does a really good job of theirs, and the frosting on this one I find is actually, it's not as gritty and chalky. This is just, it's done perfectly. Solid and light, and really fantastic. It's chamfered down really nicely and for grip and so forth, and so, you know, you can easily fit 4 medium-large fingers on this knife. Very useful. I like that they did the matching blasting of the hardware on this. So for this particular model, with the acid wash, you have the nice blasted finishing. You know, on the Mordax here, you can see on the stonewash, you have the satin and that sort of stuff. So I really just like it. It gives a nice continuity and feel to this one, including the pocket clip. Let's talk about that pocket clip, actually. Pocket clip is only right side tip up, and not so sorry lefties on this one. Of course, I imagine, I think what would really improve this is if there was left-handed. I guess I'm kind of jumping to some of the cons on this one, but I found that left-handed, this is not so bad, and the flipper tab is, I think, very low risk of going off or firing off in your left hand or in your left pocket if you were to do that. So I just find that the pocket clip on this is great. They recess the screws and the pocket clip itself. So, and Pro-Tech just absolutely nails it. You can pull this out of your pocket one-handed, utilize it, put it away one-handed, and this thing just really works. So really love that. And then the blade acid is in the quiet billboarding on this knife. They actually put the Pro-Tech sign up there. I don't even know if that will show up on video. And then the steel is actually just printed right down in here. And so there's really not a whole lot of billboarding on this one, and I just love that. I have cut and cut and cut on this thing for the last 2 weeks, and this acid wash that GPKnives has specially done is fantastic. So if you have a chance, I absolutely love this one. You can kind of see maybe where there's a little bit of shinier spot in the middle, but it's just worn great. You can't even tell it's been used, but it's definitely been used tremendously. And then the last thing, of course, is the Inset push button, which is just, you know, let me get well, I don't have something flat right now, but I'll put it up next to my fingers. But you can see that the button is just absolutely flush with the entire scale on this side, and that's a marvelous thing, you know, in terms of when you're using it with gloves or anything. I have found that some of the other button locks that I've used before, if you're using it kind of hard and you happen to be wearing gloves, it will put that pressure on right there with the glove and can come loose. This one being recessed, Nope, not happening. So fantastic. On the con side, the full flat grind could use a relief swedge, maybe on the very top or something. Going through some thicker boxes and thicker sets of boxes, this one did get caught a little bit. It's not overly thin stock. I think 0.12 or overly thick. It's kind of that Goldilocks area. Could be a little bit thinner, but in the absence of that, I would say it would definitely help its slicing if they either raise that grind up to a full flat or maybe put a release wedge up here. There was a release wedge on the Mordax, and this actually, that release wedge up there did help when I was cutting through some boxes. Of course, that one's a taller grind too because it's a much taller blade, but that's one of those things. My particular knife was a little bit off center. It's literally about a 0.5 millimeter. I will say after 2 good weeks of use and kind of beating on it a bit, it did not move, and it was not touching on the sides, so it still has clearance on both scales. So not a massive problem, but a little bit of a surprise from Pro-Tech for me. And then the pocket clip, of course, we already talked about, is right-hand tip-up carry only. I think in the future it would really bode them well to come up with some left-handed knives to help out 10% of the folks out there and let them enjoy this for what it is. Overall, this knife is everything that I thought it would be. It's a very lightweight, very fidgety flipper. You know, you've seen lots of people flick it like that. It really is just, it takes the best of everything that Pro-Tech does with extreme precision, thoughtfulness. It's light but sturdy. It's got the nice aluminum. You know, I guess that would be one of my other complaints is in the cold months, it gets a little bit cold, but we're entering into the warm months now. So, but overall, the form and function are fantastic. The manufacturing is great. You know, plenty enough to justify this price of $200. And I will say, this is an absolute winner. Don't fret. These are on the way, guys and gals. And hope you did enjoy this video. And if you did, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. And have a great day for yourselves. Take care now.